So I wanted to talk about the results that I got from the poll that I shared about if kids should be allowed at weddings. And so I'm going to put the little image there, but very interesting. I thought that about 90% of the people who voted yes, kids should be allowed at weddings, have kids. About 90% of them, I looked. And then for people who don't, who voted no, about 90% of those voters do not have kids. So very, very, very interesting. As someone who does not have kids myself, and also speaking as a videographer, I prefer when there are no kids under the age of 12 at a wedding. Of course, it depends on the couple, it depends on the wedding, but a lot of times during the ceremony, what are you doing? Anyway, a lot of the times during the ceremony and during toasts, children do tend to make noise, and it can be very distracting to the couple, the people trying to enjoy the ceremony, listen to the vows. I have had occasions where people are giving toasts and then you hear a crying baby in the background. Of course now, I mean, we can edit stuff out, but I'm talking about the day of overall experience. You can hear, when you hear kids crying or whatever, and during those special moments, or just running crazy, it's very distracting to the overall wedding day. Also, it is very nice when you, as adults, parents, don't have your kids there with you, because then parents tend to stay longer and enjoy the dance party with the couple, as opposed to someone who, I need to go home because I need to put my kids to bed, and they miss out on the dance party. So that's one of the downfalls of having kids, is that people do tend to leave earlier. And a lot of times we talk to couples and they say, our wedding is going to go till 11 o'clock at night, but then people are leaving by about 9 o'clock, and so then you have maybe a quarter of the people left. So that's something to think about when planning your day, if you do or do not want to have kids. The other thing I wanted to mention was I did ask if people, oh my gosh, will you guys settle down? Anyway, I wanted to talk about food on your wedding day. I did put up a post, stories thing, asking if you remembered how much you paid per plate, and some people mentioned as high as like $80 and then as low as about $5. So if you're on the $5 end, very lucky. If you're on the $80 side, and they're or sometimes it costs more than that. So that's something to be considerate of the couple when you're wanting an RSVP. Hey, quiet down. When you want an RSVP for your children, and it's $65 plus a plate. So that does become very, very costly. Lastly, you as the couple, if you decide to tell your guests no kids allowed, under a certain age, whatever, you do have to think about, for some people, they will rather not go to your wedding than to go without their kids. So then you have to think about, okay, is it more important for me to have those people there and let them bring their kids, or is it more important for me to have the kind of day that I want? Because that will happen, unfortunately, that there are people who, maybe a nursing mom can't leave her baby behind, or I don't know, I don't have kids, so whatever the situation may be, or it does cause arguments. People do get upset that they can't bring their kids, so that is something to think about. But that is also why we enjoy when you've got smaller weddings, because then you don't have to worry about all of that. So that is just my little 2 cents on whether or not you should, or if you're thinking about whether or not you should have kids at your wedding or not have kids at your. So if you have any thoughts or questions about what I mentioned, feel free to chime in. Remember, I do not have kids. I prefaced that from the beginning. I can only speak as a wedding guest and videographer, and just compare from all the many weddings that we've been to. So let me know if you have any additional thoughts.